There's no time for me to be happy in any of this equation ever. If I choose happiness, if I decide to be happy, then I can't love the people I love properly, because then I become useless.
Are you like happy?
I wouldn't say I'm unhappy in any way, and I would say I'm happy, yes, but the whole idea of happiness in and of itself is skewed, especially in the masculine frame, because there's so many men who are waking up complaining about the fact they're not happy, which is the strangest mindset I think a man can have. Because as a man, how happy you are has absolutely nothing to do with how you live your life and how you perform and what you need to do. How happy you are is a pointless measurement, so why do you even measure it at all? I would argue that as long as you're not distraught, as long as someone you love didn't die that day, heaven forbid that happens often, let's say a couple of times a decade, besides those days, you should be happy enough to go to the gym and perform and make your money and do what you need to do. Who gives a shit if you're particularly smiley or not? I think it's quite binary. This whole idea of how happy am I is the easiest way for a man to destroy his life. If you're chasing happiness, you're only going to do hedonistic garbage and achieve absolutely nothing important. If you wake up and say, I don't care how happy I am, I want to be proud of myself and I want to make other people proud of me, so I have to do all these things irregardless of how I feel, you're going to have a fantastic life. If you wake up and say, I want to be happy, you're going to chase silly hoes, drugs, and alcohol.
But that's temporary happiness, right?
Well, but how else can you get instant happiness unless it's temporary? To get long-term happiness is something that's only going to come from dedication and hard work, which requires short-term suffering. It's just delayed. So if you're dedicating yourself and working hard for the future happiness, but especially considering the fact that most people are never happy with what they get and you always want more, your life just becomes hard work and dedication and struggle and suffering, and that's what you just exist within, and you don't operate under the paradigm of happy or sad. To me, it's quite binary. It's not a scale of how happy am I. It's just, has something terrible happened today? Am I distraught? No, then I'm happy. It's almost like there's no such thing as cold. It's just an absence of heat. In space, there's no cold. There's just heat or there's no heat. Well, if there's no despair, heaven forbid a family member dies, if there's no despair, then there's only happiness left. I'm happy here. I'm happy in Romania. I'm happy all the time, because unless something truly devastating happens, it's the only frame I operate under. But to me, happiness isn't the giddish, smiling, look at me, I'm happy. That's for children and women. And as a man, truthfully, you get your contentment. I wouldn't even say happiness, but you achieve your contentment through making others happy. I feel content when my children are happy. I feel content when I make my woman happy. I get more from giving than receiving. That's why Christmas is set up the way it is and dad never gets anything. We give. We go to work. We struggle. We make money. We suffer so others can be happy because of us. It's not our job to be happy ourselves. You show me a man who wakes up and says he wants to be happy himself, I'll show you a bitch. Because that's not what you're supposed to do. As a man, you're supposed to wake up and say, all right, my life might be shit. I'm going to suffer. I may be miserable, but every single person I love is going to be happy instead. So you live externally, you live through them, you give them the happiness. Truthfully, if I had to choose between being happy or being competent, if I had to choose between being me with my influence and my competency, but with all of my stress and headache, or being happy as a nobody sitting in the park doing mushrooms, staring at the clouds, I would choose to be me, clearly, because I did. So I think as a man, unless you're competent and capable, no, but let's actually analyze this. Unless you're competent and capable as a man, you're not even prepared. You can't even love anything unless you're competent and capable as a man. This is why, you know, when girls have those loser dudes who are like saying, I love you so much, I love you, and the girl doesn't give a shit that the loser dude's telling her that he loves her. Why is that? Because the female is smart enough to understand on an intrinsic level that as a man, if you have no capability to give her things, if you have no competence, if you have no skills or use case, that your love is completely useless. It's like if you have a brother beside you who says he loves you with all his heart, but he's a complete pussy and he can't fight and you get attacked, what's his love worth? So as a man, if you want to say, I love my wife, I love my children, I love my friends, I love the world, you can only have a love that is valuable if you're competent and you're capable, and you're only going to have that if you suffer. So if you want to have the ability to love other people, if I want to be a person who can wake up and realize I truly love my children, I truly love my woman, then the only way I can do that is to suffer enough to be a man whose love has value. If I wake up and say, I truly love the people I care about, but I want to be happy, so I'm going to go and sit in the field and take mushrooms, well, then my love is completely valueless. Because when they call me and say, there's a problem, Andrew, you love me, fix it, I'm going to say, I can't. And men are nothing but success objects. We are valued by what we can do. We are competency objects. Men are, what can he do? What is he good at? That's all we're measured on, is our capability. I think happiness is the easiest way to destroy your own capability, because you're too busy doing dumb shit. So when you ask me that question, the reason I gave such a long answer is because how happy I am doesn't cross my mind. I wake up and I have things to do. I have bills to pay. There's millions to make. I'm going to do this podcast. I'm going to go home, and then I need to train, and I have a whole bunch of other stuff to do. Then I have to fix everybody else's problems. Then I got to talk to my children. Everyone's life is great but mine. Mine's been long, stressful, and busy, and I'm going to go to sleep, and I'm going to wake up, I'm going to do it again. There's no time for me to be happy in any of this equation ever. And if I choose happiness, if I decide to be happy, then I can't love the people I love properly, because then I become useless. Because I kind of feel like I've had a higher threshold for entertainment, and that has been a blessing and a curse, because you're difficult to please. But if you're difficult to please, you're going to try and achieve amazing things. If you're trying to achieve amazing things all the time, you're going to achieve amazing things. Yeah. If you can wake up and have a cheese sandwich and put on a song from Spotify and be like, today's great, well, then you're never going to do what it takes to go out there and actually be successful. If you wake up and say, I don't care about the food, don't care about the music, don't care about the sports team, don't care about the TV, don't care about any of that, I want a Bugatti, I want a jet, I want to work.
Lock in and brace for a truth bomb that's going to rip through your weak excuses and set your soul on fire. Top G style. The last segment laid it down raw. Happiness is a trap for men. Chasing it makes you a useless, hedonistic nobody who can't love, can't lead, and can't win. Real men don't measure their lives by smiles. They measure it by competence, sacrifice, and the legacy they build through suffering. If you're sitting there whining about not being happy, you're already losing. Life's a battlefield, and your job is to fight, provide, and make everyone else's world better while you eat stress like a king. If you're ready to ditch the soft nonsense, embrace the grind, and forge an empire that echoes through history, smash that subscribe button and let's dominate. Happiness is a scam for men, and the sooner you get that, the better. The last part nailed it. If you're chasing happiness, you're chasing temporary highs, drugs, booze, cheap thrills that leave you empty. I've seen guys waste their lives in that garbage. At 25, I knew a dude, Jake, who was all about being happy. He'd party, chase girls, play video games, always smiling. Fast forward to 35, he's broke, living with his mom. No skills, no respect. Why? Because happiness doesn't build empires. Competence does. I chose competence over comfort every time. That's why I've got millions, titles, and a legacy, while Jake's got nothing but regrets. You want to win? Stop asking, am I happy? Start asking, am I proud? Am I useful? Am I a man others can count on? The masculine frame doesn't have room for happiness as a goal. It's about duty. The last part said it. Your contentment comes from making others happy. Your kids, your woman, your crew. I feel alive when my son looks at me like I'm a superhero. When my girl smiles because she's safe and provided for. That's not happiness, it's purpose. I don't wake up thinking, how can I be happy today? I wake up thinking, how can I make my family's life unbreakable? How can I crush my enemies and stack millions? That's the code. If you're focused on your own happiness, you're selfish. Real men live externally, sacrificing so others can thrive. That's why I grind 18-hour days, train like a beast, and solve problems nobody else can touch. Let's talk about why chasing happiness destroys you. The last part called it hedonistic garbage, and that's facts. Happiness is fleeting, eat a burger, feel good for an hour, then what? Snort a line, high for a night, then crash. It's a loser's game. Long-term happiness only comes from hard work, discipline, suffering. But here's the kicker. Even when you get it money, cars, jets, you're still not happy because men always want more. I've got a Bugatti, a mansion, a jet, and I'm still hungry. Why? Because I'm a man, and men are built to conquer, not to sit around smiling like idiots. If you're chasing happiness, you're dodging the grind. If you're dodging the grind, you're dodging success. The binary mindset from the last part is pure gold. Either you're distraught or you're good to go. I live by this. Unless someone I love dies, God forbid, I'm happy enough to do my job. I don't need to be skipping through fields to hit the gym, close deals, or leave my family. Most guys obsess over, how happy am I on a scale of 1 to 10? Bro, that's a woman's game. Men don't measure feelings, we measure results. I was in Romania last year, dealing with legal battles, business, stress, haters everywhere. Was I smiley? Nah. Was I distraught? Hell no. So I kept moving, trained, worked, won. That's the only scale that matters. Are you acting like a king or crying like a peasant? This ties to competence, the real measure of a man. The last part said it. Without competence, your love, your words, your existence is worthless. I've seen guys tell their girls, I love you, but they're broke, weak, useless. The girl leaves. Why? Because love without competence is empty. If I tell my kids I love them, it means something because I can protect them, provide for them, teach them to be warriors. That's why I suffer to be a man whose love has weight. At 27, I was broke, telling a girl I loved her. She didn't care, saw me as a nobody. By 30, I was a champion, stacking millions. Same words, different man. She came running back. Competence is everything. Suffering is the price of competence. The last part said you can't love properly without it, and I'll double down. Every rep I push, every 3 a.m. work session, every hit I take legal, financial, personnel, makes me a man who can deliver. I lost $4 million once on a bad crypto call. Did I cry? Nah. I worked 20-hour days, rebuilt, made it back in 5 months. That suffering made me sharper, stronger, more useful. Most guys would have quit, chased happiness with a bottle or a blunt. Not me. I suffer because it's my job. You want to love your family, your friends, your legacy? Suffer for them. Be the man who can fix their problems, not add to them. Let's talk about why most guys fail at this. They're soft. They think life owes them happiness. I knew a guy, Tom, 40, always complaining. I'm not happy, man. He'd skip the gym, flake on work, chase quick fixes girls, bars, Netflix. Now he's fat, broke, alone. Why? He chose happiness over duty. Contrast that with my boy Alex, 33, who grinds like a savage. Lost his job, got betrayed, still hit the gym, started a business. Now he's got $1 million company and a family that worships him. Why? He embraced suffering, built competence, became a man of value. That's the difference. Losers chase smiles, winners chase results. The last part mentioned being hard to please, and that's my secret weapon. If a cheese sandwich and Spotify make you happy, you're done. You'll never strive for greatness. I'm not impressed by small shit fancy food, sports games, television shows. I want jets, empires, immortality. That's why I've achieved what I have. At 23, I was offered a $50 K job, stable, happy life. I said no. Why? Because I wanted millions, not comfort. By 28, I had them. Being hard to please pushes you to do what others won't. Most guys settle for crumbs. Kings demand the whole damn feast. This ties to leadership. A real man leads by being competent, not happy. My crew follows me because I deliver money, protection, vision. They see me grind, take hits, keep winning. My woman trusts me because I'm a rock, not a roller coaster of emotions. I don't need her to make me happy. I make her happy by being unbreakable. Most guys lean on their girls, their friends, begging for validation. Bro, that's weak. Be the man who stands alone, solves problems, and inspires others to step up. That's how you build a brotherhood, a family, a legacy. Let's talk legacy, because this ain't just about you. The last part said we suffer so others can smile, and that's the end game. I want my kids to inherit a kingdom, not a sob story. Every dollar I make, every muscle I build, every enemy I crush is for them. Most guys don't get this. They're out here chasing happiness for themselves, leaving their families with nothing. I saw a dad at the park, out of shape, whining about his tough day. His kid looked embarrassed. Meanwhile, I'm teaching my nephew to deadlift, showing him what a man is. I'm not happy doing it. I'm tired, stressed, but I'm proud. That's what matters. Here's a story to lock this in. At 29, I was pitching a $15 million deal, but my partner bailed last minute. Stress? Insane. Most would have folded. I didn't. I walked into that room, owned it, said, "This is the future. Join me or miss out." Closed it. Why? Because I wasn't chasing happiness. I was chasing competence. That deal set my family up for generations. Happiness wouldn't have done that. Suffering did. The world's getting brutal X posts from May 23, 2025. Show markets tanking, jobs vanishing, chaos rising. If you're chasing happiness, you're prey. I'm a predator because I embrace the grind. I know a guy, Dave, 42, still trying to find himself. He's broke, weak, irrelevant. Then there's my boy Marcus, 34, who took every hit poverty, betrayal, doubt, and built a 7-figure empire. Why? He chose competence over comfort, suffering over smiles. Here's the test. It's May 26, 2025, 10:01 p.m., and the year's 40% gone. You said, 2025's my year. Look around. Still broke? Still soft? Still chasing happiness? Wake up. Ditch the feelings, embrace the suffering, and build competence. The universe doesn't care if you're smiling jit, respects your results. Be the king who sacrifices for his people, or the peasant who chases highs and dies forgotten. Choose now, because time's running out. If you're ready to suffer, win, and leave a legacy, hit subscribe, and let's build something eternal.